Local news. First, this is Newry News Bite.
Hi and welcome to a special report with Destination Newry. We're joined by Sergeant Gordon Say from the San Francisco Police Department, and unfortunately Gordon is going to give us some details on the death of Paul Lambert, a Newry native who was living in San Francisco and was unfortunately knocked down in a collision late on or early Wednesday morning. So Gordon, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Sure, no problem.
Gordon, can you give us a bit of information on what happened in the incident on Wednesday morning?
Sure, it was here local time on the west coast of the United States. At approximately 1 a.m., San Francisco police responded to the area of Van Ness and Pacific regarding a vehicle collision. A vehicle had struck a pedestrian, and that pedestrian was pronounced deceased at the scene. Based on our preliminary investigation, it appears that the pedestrian was outside the crosswalk, probably more mid-block in that area. However, the vehicle at this point appears to have been speeding and was also a part of a factor in this collision.
Yeah.
We did arrest the driver of the vehicle. He was booked into our county jail here on gross vehicular manslaughter and hit and run. The driver of the vehicle, after the collision, attempted to walk away from the scene, and witnesses were able to identify him to police officers that responded to take him into custody.
Can you describe, Gordon, where it happened? You know, is it a dark road? Is it an accident that happened? Or, you're telling us speed is a factor. What caused this accident to happen?
The cause of the collision is still an open investigation. At this point, it appears speed was a factor in this collision. As far as how the intersection is, Van Ness is a very busy artery here in San Francisco. It is 6 lanes across, making it one of the largest streets here in San Francisco. Yeah. With that said, though, at 1 a.m, it is not that heavily traveled. Compared to during the daytime hours. And also, being that it is a main artery in the San Francisco, it is lit. It isn't a small street that isn't lit as well.
Yeah, and can you tell us what happens now with the driver of the vehicle? What is the process of the investigation, and how long do you reckon it'll take before we get answers as to what happened?
Sure. So the case is going to be presented to the district attorney's office today, and the district attorney will determine what charges will be formally filed against the driver, and then that will really begin the judicial process here. But the next step at this point is for the district attorney's office to formally file charges.